Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Corson, channel is called Ethernet Wink, and in today's video, we're going to be going over how to start quantitative finance in 2025. Yes, I know it's November, but I'm not going to waste that title. It's November 1st actually, so I hope that everybody had a good Halloween, had a good safe one, spent it with some people you love. And yeah, we're going to hop into how you would get started in quantitative finance, quantitative engineering from scratch. If you have zero programming experience, how to find out if quantitative engineering is even for you. And if you do enjoy it, how to dive into it, how to get real niche into it. Before we go into that, I do want to show you guys some things that I have to offer. I have this indicator in collaboration with LuxAlgo. It's like if a neural network in ChatGPT had a baby. It's a different kind of artificial intelligence like that. You can get it for your TradingView charts. I have Prometheus Analytics, which again offers TradingView indicators for a premium. And I have Prometheus Analytics, same business, same entity, but we provide open source indicators as well. These are all free and open source if they want to comply. See, you can get all the code for that and understand exactly what's going on with it. So yeah, link to all that and my business Twitter will all be in the description. I'm working to try to get these strategies out for you guys, these option trade strategies, because they would be absolutely killer. Even this one on Apple would have worked yesterday. This one you would have done real well. Stack that up over a couple different tickers, and you're sitting pretty on the year. But yeah, I have almost 1,000 subscribers. Let's get to that by the end of the year and run up this Twitter. So yeah, let's hop into how to know if programming in quantitative finance is for you, right? I'm going to assume you have zero programming experience. We're going to start from basics. I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you're in college, but a lot of the stuff you can learn for free if you really care enough. So is programming for you? Start for free on YouTube. Start for free. Start learning those free code camp videos, those bro code videos. Get everything downloaded. Download VS Code. Download a bunch of different IDEs. I think I have like 4 on my computer. You know what I mean? Download a bunch of different IDEs. Download a bunch of different programming languages. Start for free. Learn what strings are. Learn what integers are. Learn what arrays are. You know what I mean? Again, slowly. Okay, this is an object. This is a function, this is a interface, you know what I mean? Then you can get more into it. Once you start for free and you get some basics down, code some projects. They don't have to be crazy, but don't do basic ones. Don't just make a to-do list. I don't think that you should really just make a to-do list. I think that you should make something that interests you. What if you really like combat sports, make a database of your favorite fighters. Something silly like that. It doesn't actually have to be like a SQL database. It could just be a list of a bunch of different UFC fighters. You know what I mean? You don't even have to use an API, but just start off with some projects that actually interest you, actually represent you. Don't just make a simple to-do list. Don't just make a weather app. Like, of course, do it, but know that like those are great, but it's way better to make the ones that actually interest you. Learn why to use certain languages there. Learn why to use certain languages where. You're gonna come up with a favorite language, but favorite language, schmavorite language. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like, what's the correct hammer to hit this with? And there's always people always make jokes. Just use JavaScript for everything. Just use Python for everything. In my mind, I just want to use Go for everything. You know what I mean? But some people just love to code in Rust, love to code in C++, love the languages like Zig, those memory unsafe ones where you actually have to do things yourself with memory. They're not garbage collected, right? Try a bunch of different ones. Try a bunch of different languages and make their own strength, because you can't code in Go the same way. You can't think in Python and code in Go. It simply won't work. They're just fundamentally different languages. They're super simple. That's not super simple. They're super similar. They're still expressive, but they're fundamentally different. And find out what projects make you want to code. Find your personality, right? What is my reason to open up my laptop and code? Is mispriced options, is order flow imbalances on futures, is outsized moves on crowded trades, right? That's what I care about. That's what I think is cool. That's what I just like. Nobody made me do it, but that's what gets me to open up my laptop every day. Maybe for you, you're really into natural language processing, right? I know that there's a branch of machine learning right now where, I'll give you an example. The word abitare in Italian is like to live like in a home, and vivere is like to be alive, like to live. They both mean to live, right? But so there's different context to it. There's a whole branch of machine learning right now that is using ML to kind of differentiate that for a computer. A classmate was telling me about that. I thought it was super cool, but it's not my thing. It's her thing. That's why she codes. Machine, quantitative finance is why I code. Find your thing. Find your personality in it. So now, step one, what kind of programming do you really want to do? This is kind of where you get more specific, even though I did kind of talk about that already. I don't know if this is the right title for that, but whatever. Learn data structures and algorithms, learn computer architecture and organization. I'm going to start with this one first. I'm not saying you have to be able to write programs in assembly. It would be great, but honestly, who has the time? Who cares, really? I'm saying, look, if someone shows you an assembly file, you could look at that. Okay, I see move, I see RBX, I see this and that. You know what I mean? I can understand. Okay, here's a loop. Understand it like that. Understand what's really going on under the hood in terms of memory and registers and stuff like that. If you say you know how to code, but you don't even know what registers are, like that's fine, but learn it. Understand the underlying concepts and learn your data structures and algorithms. Listen, it's not necessary, but if you just know how to code dot product for matrices, if you just know how to code quicksort, you just have it, right? It's worth something. It's worth something even if you never use it, because those similar kinds of problems and structures will come up, right? And so if you just know how to do it, you can easily make the next step. These two kind of go together, but front end or a back end, CLI or web app, right? These are things that you're going to have to try to, like, you're going to want to iterate, and then taper down. This is what I really like to do, right? So you could honestly bunch all these together into one step: front end or back end, CLI or web app, work with databases, JavaScript, right? A lot of different avenues to go down. I would tell you, try them all. Try them all, iterate through. Okay, let's make a backend in Go, and then let's attach a JavaScript framework to it. Or let's attach some HTML to it, right? Okay, cool, that was kind of fun, but I don't really like doing all that front end stuff. JavaScript's not for me. Let's try to make a CLI. Oh, that's really fun, but I don't really like how I can't visualize anything. Okay, so then let's just make some roots and just make a simple web app. Okay, I can live with that, with no framework. That's what happened to me. That's how I did it. Work with databases. It's a necessary evil, right? I don't know how to, like, I understand how to work with SQL. I could do that. Do I need to learn more about it? 100%. Databases is one of those things, like, it's niche, but not really. If you want to be really good with databases, like really, really good, and truly understand what's going on with them, it has to be your niche, right? And you can get by without being so specifically pinpointed in that stuff. But I felt like I should put it in its own category. JavaScript, right? There's a million different frameworks. Do you really just want to be like a front end engineer like that? That's totally fine. If you want to be a React dev, a Vue dev, whatever poison you want, but find out, like, is that for you? I know that if I had to just wake up every day and code in React, code the style of programming where your front end ends up being just like actual code in your back end in like your real language, I don't like it. I don't know why. It just doesn't make sense to me. Well, I understand why it's happening, but I don't like it, so I don't do it, right? Maybe you do like it. I know a lot of people that love this style of programming, so that's what they do. Concurrency, async, parallelism, I put all those kind of like as ones. I believe that if you're not very proficient with these things in the next 5 years, you'll be, I don't want to say obsolete or like inefficient, but the person who does really understand these things, they're gonna outshine you. All right, I really do think that, because computer hardware is becoming so good that, like, yeah, you have a handler that has 5 different processes before you can really finish it. Bro, use a Go routine. What's so bad about it? You have everything that you would need. And languages for that I just put in there. Go, I think, has a great concurrency model because the functions aren't colored. Python and C++ are good ones to know how to do that with as well. And so then after you've kind of learned how to program like that in whatever discipline, whatever aspect, now is quantitative finance for me, right? There's a few things that you have to consider with quantitative finance because there's a lot of ways to mess it up, I think. There's a lot of ways to get overwhelmed. There's a lot of ways to not really understand what you're doing. So good data, right? You want your data to be good. You want it to be accessible. You don't want it to be impossible to handle. So I gave you guys some free ones here. I'll put all this in the description of this video, I think, but as well as the links to all this stuff. But free ones, Yahoo Finance, I think alphavantage is a free API, and openBB just abstracts to other APIs. In the middle are things like QuantConnect, Interactive Brokers, any broker really, and TradingView. And then premium ones, Databento, alphavantage, thetadata, IEXCloud. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I like QuantConnect and Databento a lot. I also like yfinance for just doing quick stuff because it's quick and dirty. You want your data to be good in the sense of accurate, easy to use, fast, right? That's not too much to it, and you don't want it to be absurdly heavy for no reason. You don't want to always be requesting things that you just don't need. So then iterate is the name of the game with really any sort of learning, I think, but especially I think in computer science, in quantitative finance, because there's so much. There's so much to learn. There's so much to do. There's so much to trade. Equities, bonds, commodity futures, currency futures, index futures, bond futures, options, option on futures, swaps, different, like more sophisticated financial instruments. There's a bunch of different ways to trade them, right? Day trading, high frequency trading, swing trading, directional trading, just investing, event driven, machine learning, right? Just total statistics, black box. There's so much, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. So just iterate, even if you do it slowly. But go through and learn how these things feel to you and learn which ones you like the most. I like trading commodity futures and options on equities in a directional fashion, either directional or day trading, right? That's what I like to do. I don't like to make strategies on bond futures, on options on futures, right? I think that there's just too much going on that I don't really want to deal with. I know that there are some people that are good with it. That's what they do. This is what I do, right? Iterate through. Make just a simple swing trading strategy on some equities, right? Make an event-driven strategy on commodity futures. I don't know, right? Go through and just try out a bunch of different things. How do I do that, Joe? How do I iterate through? Honestly, I would say best bet if you, I'll put it here. If you don't care about local, non-local, I would say QuantConnect. Again, not sponsored, but I just like it. And if you want to go local, Zipline framework for backtesting. You can do both of them in Python. Now, I think that that is a great way to get started. Solve a real problem. What do you want? Right? What do you want? What's one thing when you're doing whatever you're doing in finance that you're like, I wish this was different? Solve it. Do it. It clearly hasn't been done before, right? So go ahead and throw something together for it. I'm not going to speak too much more about that because you already know exactly what it is that you wish to be different. Maybe it's just that it's hard to trade. I want strategies to trade for me. I want strategies to help me out. That could be all it is, right? And then tricks, nuances, and context of quantitative finance, things to learn kind of just as you go through the motions. There's a ton of things to think about. Again, earnings, Fed decisions, fear, expiration, strike deviations, think in percents, threshold times 2%. What I mean by that is like a moving average cross strategy. If it crosses over, give it a little bit more before you enter, right? Always think about risk, expectation versus probability, right? I'm going to leave a lot of this stuff for you guys to just dive down the rabbit hole with it. But there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of nuances to it that you're just going to have to feel out. Like it's always, always, always harder to have a strategy in August, in the summer. It just doesn't trade the same way. I've noticed that, right? It's just always a little weirder to have a strategy work during those months. And then also you can get a little bit more specific, like mean reversion, trend, or trend strategies, right? You can get a little bit more specific with that. I just thought of that, right? which is kind of like an overarching aspect of this. And then the magic number, a paradox, right? Any indicator and then 20, period. What's significant about 20? There's techniques to use. Either use something like a sum of squared errors. Again, I'm going to leave you to figure out, like to go into it and figure out what it is. This is if you have a college degree, if you even have a high school degree, if you understand this stuff, you'll be able to pick it up quickly. If you don't, I still think that you'll be able to pick it up quickly. That's why I put it in there, but whatever. And then significant numbers, and you deal with non-optimized. What do I mean by that? Well, there's 5 trading days in a week. There's 252 trading days in a year, right? Stuff like that. But when you just use 20 and it's just not dynamic and it's just fixed like that, wonder why. Wonder why and get a little bit more sophisticated. A little randomness, a little obsessed. No one's going to make you do this. No one's going to make you get really good at quantitative finance. No one's going to make you really learn the ins and outs of option volatility, of topology, machine learning, fractals, randomness, right? No one's going to make you do stuff like that. I'm going to give you guys some books. I'll write it later and put it in the description. But yeah, read some books, read some research papers. Get weird with it. Get weird with it and enjoy it. Be a little obsessed with it. If you find out that it's just such a chore to learn about some of this stuff, consider different avenues, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's people out there like myself. I think that fractals are so cool. I think that the fact that machine learning exists, that topology exists, that there are different ways to model volatility, I think that's so cool. Nobody makes me pick it up, which is what I'm trying to get at. And then commit. Throw yourself at it. Learn a lot. What are you scared of, right? Don't be afraid of learning something. I don't think that doing any of this stuff would be a waste of time for you as a programmer, as any sort of engineer. I don't think that doing any of this would be any sort of waste of time. Worst thing happens, you find out something you don't want to do. But I think that it would be great for you to go through these steps, iterate through a ton of stuff, find out. I like doing options, directional trading on equities. I don't know, right? Just get weird with it, get crazy. You find out like a really cool way to model risk and you get really deep in the rabbit hole, right? I think that you can hear my family out there, but I think that is a great way. The great thing, even if you end up thinking that it's not for you, there's nothing wrong with that. I still just want you to do it. Commit to a niche project, finish something, finish something, finish something so that way you could start another thing, right? Don't and have closure in your head, right? Like bang, bang, bang. Don't just go everywhere and not finish anything. Do it with an intention. Have an intention of learning. And then this is pretty much a my take thing, but learning with things like ChatGPT, I think that it's not a good thing to be an expert beginner, to be able to do things and not understand the underlying why. But I do think it is a great thing that we can learn things so fast now with ChatGPT. And also with tools like QuantConnect or with Zipline framework, right? You would really have to read through documentation simply because it's not as up to date. But yeah, I think that to learn fundamentals of programming languages, you're thinking like, okay, I feel pretty comfortable now. Give me you go prompt it, give me a crash course test on Python to see if I really know as much as I think I know. Right? Could be good ways to use this tool. And then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my road. I found about I started coding when I was like 16. Then I found out about quantitative finance and algorithmic trading and stuff like that. So I started with yfinance, NumPy, and Panthas for Python. Then I learned that QuantConnect was a thing, and my whole obsession was order flow imbalances on futures. And then it was stat-based technical indicators for some reason. And then I got into the physics and math side of it, so like entropy, long memory, topology, probabilities, expectation versus probability. Very important concept, which is why I keep on highlighting it. Large universes of fixed symbols, dynamic universes, outsized moves, and mispricings. And then now I'm on pretty much custom machine learnings, mispricings, and skewed risk. Some infrastructure stuff I've coded, parallel backtesting engine that's on my channel, pricing scripts on my channel, web app not on my channel, but will be. Maybe I'll do something like that soon. You could see something about pretty much most of these on my channel already. I'd encourage you to go check them out. Languages I use, Python, Go, and C++. Languages I want to learn, Zig, maybe Rust, and languages that I think that people should just master are Go and Python. But yeah, this is I think a decent roadmap. So in the scenario where it's a total success, you start for free on YouTube, code some projects, find out what makes you really want to open up your laptop. You learn some data structures and algorithms, computer architecture. You pick one of these and think, this is what I want to do. You abstract stuff out to concurrency and async, stuff like that. Then you start with quantitative finance. You find a API that you really like. You find a combination of the instrument and the edges that you like. You get good at one of these things, either non-local with something like QuantConnect or local with something like a zipline framework, maybe your own backtesting framework. You find out what you want to accomplish and you go into it. You learn some tricks about the industry, right? Like mean reversion strategies versus trend, expectation, probability. You understand like just silly stuff that you just have to know and you have to pick up. Like I said before, August is just a rough month. You get rid of some of this magic number stuff, some of this stuff just for no reason. After you start to understand how to really make things, you get a little obsessed with it. You get a little weird. You read things like The Misbehavior of Markets by Benoit Mandelbrot on your own. You read books by Nassim Nicholas Taleb just like because you're so interested. And then you really commit to it. You throw yourself at a project and you get really, really good results from it. And then you continue to learn and go through stuff. And then you make a YouTube channel and help everybody else do it, right? I think that's a great avenue to go down. Note that I didn't put any links in here really. I just put the names of some stuff, again, not sponsored. But I kind of want you guys to go out and find some stuff on your own, read the articles on your own, right? I want to let you find it. I want to let you go through and find stuff and know why you don't like it and then find the thing that you do like it because you're going to appreciate it more and you're going to understand, right? But if I were to restart, this would be a good roadmap, I think. And yeah, I'm not really sure what else to talk about for it, but links to everything I talked about in the beginning, all these cool neural networks, all these cool indicators are in the description. Show some love to everything. Get me to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Boost up my Twitter account. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next video. I didn't really want to put this one off anymore. I recorded it twice and just didn't like the way I spoke. I'm good with this one, so I think I like it a lot. Comment anything else you guys want me to make, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.